If you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there are a couple of things that you need in order to start developing as an individual. In the modern world, one of them is kind of left out. We have food, we have shelter, we have water. The thing that we're kind of leaving out is safety. Safety tends to kind of be thought of as provided by civilization itself, but as the world becomes less sure in this modern time, in the last couple of years, people's anxiety level goes up because their brain doesn't feel safe. Your athletic foundation should sit on top of safety drills. And these are what we call attack defend drills, where you learn to line up your body and hold on to things to not get hit in the face. This should be the basis of all athletic training. This is how it was done for all of human history until very recently. Only in the last 50 to 100 years, we've started to leave this out, but we should put it back in. Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica here in London for the London 2024 Staff and Heavy Club Seminar, and we are unboxing some additional staffs from martialartsshop.co.uk. Today's unboxing tool will be this absolutely beautiful Normark Fiskars of Finland knife. These are beautiful knives. I absolutely love these things. The staffs that we use in our workshop are very important. When you do unchoreographed staff fighting drills, the most important thing is that your staffs don't break constantly. Most martial arts staffs that you buy are not actually meant to absorb force. Most of them are meant for form training. Form training is fun, but clashing weapon against weapon with increasing amounts of force is better. If you do not exert force, then you do not learn how to really line up. So the most important thing is that your staffs will absorb an unending amount of impact. In America, we tend to use the cold steel training staffs, which are much, much shorter. This is actually a much better product, but they're harder to get in North America, but they're easy to get here in the UK. This is one of those times that the UK is actually winning on equipment. These are about 50 pounds. Oh, and we got some short ones. These are about 50 pounds here in the UK. So, long staffs first. Let's get one of these bad boys out of here. Ooh, these are great. A 6-foot staff is what these are. A lot of people can custom cut these to eyebrow height with any normal saw, should do it just fine, and then sand your edges. Just make sure you don't accidentally cut it at a 45-degree angle. That happens a lot when people try to cut staffs for the first time. These staffs are absolutely fantastic. They are a little bit thinner than I am used to. I prefer something closer to a kettlebell handle, which is 35 millimeters, but these are a pretty good size. They feel like they're about 1 inch. Right, I like this little bit of texture here at the end because it allows you to find it when you're moving fast through tactile sensation by just feeling it, and they will absorb a ton of force. They're polypropylene, so think of them as one giant molecule. The problem with most staffs in the modern world is there's not a lot of red oak trees left floating around in the world, so there's not a lot of red oak staffs or ironwood staffs that you can use to absorb force. These have quite a bit of flex to them, so when you're striking, you're actually learning it like a whip. It feels very much like a Chinese wax staff, but far more durable. We also have some shorter staffs. Think of them as Eskrima sticks that are made out of the same material. Nice and short. About the same length that your machete should be, right? 1 arm's length, pretty standard. Because it's the UK, we don't train with machetes here because pretty sure they'll come after us. The government tends not to like that here. And they're having increasing amounts of laws about those types of things. So we will be training with Eskrima sticks as well in place of our machetes that we normally use when we train at the warehouse in Los Angeles. Always make sure you're putting away your knife properly. This one is old. How old do you think this is? 80 years? This one's at least over 50 years old. A good knife never goes bad. New staff and old staff. This staff is from the last year's training. You can see it has little indents or colorations on the surface of it from full impact. And this has been left outside for the full year because we wanted to see if they would actually last. In the environment of the UK, they seem perfectly fine. It's not super high, so there's not a lot of UV light. If you left it outside at 14,000 feet, it might not fare this well, but down near sea level, it seems to be faring absolutely well. We're using this staff for unchoreographed fight training, which is the most basic type of human movement that there is. We know that this stuff predates language in the brain, right? Chimps wage war. There's plenty of evidence of it. So chimps group coordinate, and they learn to move together as a pack, and they learn to move for this specific purpose. You need to learn to defend first, line up your body to absorb force. If something tries to hit you, try to hit it back. Pretty standard rule for all of human history. Then you have to learn to walk while doing all of these things. Everybody thinks that they can walk until somebody is swinging something at your face. You should build your foundation of fitness on top of self-defense. Everything should be kind of built around that. Heavy club swinging goes directly into staff movement because they are both swinging levers with force for a purpose. Your fitness should have a purpose. This is a really easy way for people to build their foundation forever. After you learn to not get hit, you learn to start to swing back, you learn to walk in unpredictable directions. Then you start to learn to defend multiple attackers. Your brain learns to turn around. We call this the Zoolander section of training because the majority of people are not ambi-turners. They only turn one direction well. So you need to learn to turn all directions well so that you learn how to move effectively. After that, you have to start learning to hit things as hard as possible. In the context of this seminar, we have heavy bags, and so that people can learn to really express force. In the gym, this looks like a med ball slam. Problem with a med ball slam is it's not a real lever. Humans have thumbs for a reason. Your shoulder and your core work together so that you can swing levers to exert force. Med ball slam, good. Heavy club pullover to pullover squat in the same vein. The final version of the drill is a staff slam to an object as hard as physically possible. That is the point of unbreakable staffs. You can hit something as hard as you can. I'm sure we will eventually break one, but thus far, nobody has broken one. Not even 300-pound, very well-trained athletes have broken these staffs yet.